Cosplay Stitch and Seam. I'm Pannon.
I'm Fyre.
And I'm David.
In person! Yay!
Like, I can reach over
time.
and touch Pannon's face if she wants
doing
me
it,
to.
like, right now. Yeah, that's my face.
I can touch David.
How long has it been since we recorded an episode in person?
Let's not talk about that.
Oh,
Like,
man. Oh, man.
Too
It's
long.
good to be able to, like, see everybody's faces and enjoy the atmosphere. It's so nice.
And not have that pit in my stomach of like, what if my internet goes out right now?
Oh,
like,
no.
right now.
Oh, no. Well, as always, if you guys would like to reach out to us, if you have ideas for an episode, if you have horror stories, happy stories, just want to tell us how you're doing, you can send those to us at cosplaystitchandseam@gmail.com or
Or you can go to the website and fill out the Google form at cosplaystitchandseam.com, or
Go to the Facebook page and share your happy horror stories or anything in between while you message us there. And while you're there, join our awesome community, join our Work in Progress Wednesdays. And if you're not a big fan of the Facebooks, we understand. We've got an awesome Discord where people are just really popping off lately.
Yeah.
And you can also see my makeup tests that I have been doing lately.
Yeah, that was so good,
Thank you.
David.
Thank you. I'm so
could
proud
just,
of myself.
feel the My Chemical Romance bleeding from your soul.
I would be lying if I said I didn't listen to like just all My Chemro on repeat while I was doing that.
So good, so good.
So you can join our Discord. You can share your Work in Progress Wednesdays there, or just whenever, because I posted it on a Sunday. It was great.
We also started a new channel for fan creation.
I
so
saw
if
that.
you have like fan art, fan fic, want to show us your like fan inspired birthday cake, like please share it with us. They're so much fun.
Yeah, it's a great community. It's a great place to hang out. But while you're on the internet, and if you want to help out the show, there's a lot of different ways that you can do that. Leave us a review on any of those websites that let you leave a review. Those are always helpful. We also have a Ko-fi, K-O-F-I, Cosplay Stitch, and a Patreon, patreon.com/Cosplay Stitch. For $3 a month, we give you a shout out on the show, and for $5 a month, you get to join our live D&D game once a month, the Cosplay Chronicles. I get to see you in person do it now. This is great. And then, when's our next game? I think
it's going to be June 6th at 12 o'clock Mountain Standard Time.
June
And it's going to
6th.
be in person, like actually, like with our whole crew in person. I'm very excited for this.
I can't
David
wait.
actually printed me the cutest little mini of Rain, and I'm so excited to paint it.
Ooh,
It's so cute. You can't see it, but it's very cute. I will post pictures in the Discord.
Oh.
Hey.
fancy.
But yeah, you can catch us coming up. I think this episode will drop right before.
Yes,
so
it'll be dropping the Wednesday before.
it's a great time to catch up. If you join our Patreon, you can see the episodes early. You can join our live stream. You can actually influence the game by answering different polls and things that David will put up. So
Heck
good
yeah.
times.
Heck yeah.
Determine our fate.
Wow.
What else are we doing this month? We've got our Patreon, Mercedes. We have the fan fiction thing.
Yes, our new community project. Let's get some fanfics in, guys. You can email them to us at cosplaystitchandseam@gmail.com, or like you can message through Facebook or Discord or however you want to do that. Be like, hey, I want this to be part of the fanfic episode, and we'll read it. Keep it PG-13, please. Family-friendly episodes. If you want anything non-PG-13, we'll read them, just not on the episode.
Oh, I'll read them.
We'll all read them.
And they can be about anything that you want, any fandom, any series, any situation.
We just
'Cause
ask 5,000 words or less.
5,000 words or less, yes. Don't go too nuts with it, but also bring us a really fun thing for us to read. And you can also choose who you want to read it if you would like.
Yeah.
Go ahead and let us know in whatever form you choose to submit it in, and we will do that. So that is due by
End of June.
end of June. Yes,
Just
that's
in
right.
time
Because
for
we
our
were going to do
July
this.
birthdays.
Yes, birthday
Month.
Fanfic
month.
extravaganza.
Yes.
Okay. Last announcement. As always, check out foxbeautycosmetics.com. That's FOXX beautycosmetics.com. Use the promo code STITCHANDSEAM to receive 10% off your purchase of all vegan, non-animal tested products. They're a lot of fun. You can actually see David using some of the product in the Work in Progress Wednesdays that he's posted. So it's a lot of fun.
The Roguish Charm was a fantastic addition to my Chemro look. Because I have adult money and I'm going to spend it to be the emo I always wanted to be.
Yes!
I'm so excited because next session for Cosplay Chronicles, I'm wearing the Necromancer one.
Oh.
So very excited for that. So this week's episode, we have a special guest, Sudi from Silver Fyre Studios. How's it going?
Hi. Hello.
Welcome back!
Welcome back. We've had you on a couple other episodes, so we're excited to have you yet again and share your expertise. We haven't really had a chance to have you talk about yourself and get you all to ourselves on an episode.
Yes.
So I'm very excited about that. Why don't you tell us a bit about your cosplay journey?
Sure. Hello, I'm Sudi. I've been cosplaying regularly since 2009. In fact, I think I still can find on an old hard drive somewhere a picture that I took of Panin.
Oh, wow.
Years ago on my film SLR, so my 35 millimeter SLR.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
That's amazing.
It was at a old Pacific Northwest con.
Oh my gosh. Was it SakuraCon?
I think so.
I think that would have been the one. That's awesome. Oh, I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
Both love and be scared to see that.
I think that was the last time I took a 35 millimeter camera to a con.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. Because I think that was the last time that, I could find supplies reasonable enough for that.
Definitely. That's really cool.
Yeah. So, doing cosplay a lot regularly, as well as photography. And I remember about that time, it was kind of hard to find some photographers to take pictures of you in your costume. Because that was a cool thing that you would see on cosplay.com, if you remember that.
It's still there.
It still exists. It's still a thing. Oh my goodness.
At least the forums are, last I checked. So.
Oh no, don't go digging in there. Oh no.
I'm just gonna do some quick Googling. Don't mind me. I'm just gonna... Sudi. Okay.
I think that was my username.
So aside from cosplay.com, where can we find you online?
Yes, of course. You can find me, on my website, which is silverfyrestudio.com. And that's where you're going to find a lot of my photography work. I haven't been publishing my cosplay work on there for the past year. I'm focusing my website to be more that, just because a lot of other social media displays cosplay a little better than just to have still images on a website. This way, people can see more of the experience that can happen with all my photography stuff than with my cosplay. So when I created Silver Fyre Studio,
Fire with a Y, by the way.
it is V-Fire.
Yes.
With an I.
With an I. But no, I just want to make sure that listeners knew that so that they can go look it up. Because they definitely should.
I kind of wanted a name and a title of something that can encompass all of my art. So whether that was photography, costume making, paintings. Annually, I've been doing paintings for the different charity auctions for the
you did
conventions.
Some for our charity at KomoriCon.
Yeah.
Pre-pandemic, you did some paintings and stuff that we got to auction off. It was really sweet of you to do that.
Yeah.
You paint?
Yeah.
Let's paint.
There were some was it the Ghibli ones?
Yes, I did a set of the Ghibli, a set of 4 of them in square canvas.
So cute.
So that, they could be displayed.
Oh.
And I've done some full art pieces, which are a little bit larger, 24 by 36, I think, are my largest.
Oh, that's cool.
Paintings. Yeah, I just do those ones for
for fun.
That's so
Good.
cool.
That's a lot of fun.
All right,
And
well,
those are
we
on
need
your
to go do a
website
paint
too?
night.
Actually, they aren't. Those ones are just personal projects that I've done, and and then the conventions always have an art show, and I like to support art and charities, and so it all encompasses that.
I want to do a paint night with you. We're gonna do it.
We
Yes.
should.
We'll pull Sadie. We'll get everybody here. We're all gonna do a paint night.
Is it
That-
the wine paint night?
I mean, yes. Now that I do that, yes.
I mean,
We get you drunk on one episode, and it's downhill from there.
Oh dear.
Couple other things, like what's your you mentioned like SoccerCon is one of the like early cons that you shot photography at. Tell me about like what was your first con, what was your first costume?
Oh boy. My very first convention going to, I think it was either KomoriCon or SakuraCon, because it was when I was living in Oregon.
Oh, nice.
I remember going with a friend who works in the anime industry, and he does anime reviews. So all of the things that you'll see advertised, critics say this about this anime. Well, that's what they did.
That's so cool.
And it was wonderful because they would get anime before it was released.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Score.
And they would invite me over and we would watch anime. And there was this one time
Nice.
we ended up watching Spice and Wolf before it was released in the US.
Oh, nice.
And I fell in love with the main character. And I'm like, I'm going to make that cosplay.
And you did.
And so I did, and went to the next convention that we had coming up, which happened to be SakuraCon. I hadn't realized that, I gotta watch this anime early. This anime was only out for maybe a month
Oh, dang.
when the con happened. And during that time frame, like, nobody made, like, a costume in, like, 4 weeks,
Uh-huh.
except Panon.
I feel very called out.
Except Panon. I remember going and going to some of the industry panels, and at the end of the Funimation panel, one of the guests that were up on stage doing the panel comes running down off stage. I'm gathering my things. I'm dilly-dallying because my friend is finishing up their notes on their laptop, and comes right up to me and says, "Do not leave until I can have a picture with you."
Aww.
And I'm like, okay. And then afterwards, they introduced themselves and they said, I headed the project to bring Spice and Wolf over.
Oh, that's so
Wow.
cool.
And they were just so excited to see somebody cosplay from the anime so soon.
Oh, that's so cool.
Can you even imagine, like, you create something and, like, I want to dress up as that thing? Like,
Oh,
the
gosh.
compliment that must be on, like...
Amazing.
Yeah, I can't even imagine the joy you brought that person that day.
It was so fun, and I absolutely loved it. I actually carried around a basket of apples that I bought at Pike's Place Market that morning.
Cute.
And gave them out to people.
Aw, that sounds so fun.
That doesn't sound like that could happen today.
Oh, the joys of pre-2010
I brought a lead pipe into a con once. It's not a story that someone else may have told on this podcast in the past.
I never did that.
No!
Oh
no,
my
I never did
goodness.
that.
Sorry, I know I'm digressing, but
It's good. So on to the topic we asked you on today for, which is your specialty, photography.
Which, like, you've been really bringing your A game too lately. Like, all these different shoots that you've been doing. This is why I was like, I need Sudi on this show again. And to talk about this, the on-site cosplay photography and just photography in general. Because, like, you do more than just cosplay. And I love that. You, like, when I went to your shoot the other day, like, I don't know who it was that was in front of me, but it was just, like, so fun to watch just how you made that person feels so beautiful. And like I see that come through in your photography lately, like everything that you've posted on Instagram and Facebook and all that. I just look at that and I'm just like, oh, look at how amazing Sudi is.
Wow, thank you. So it was probably 5 months into the pandemic that I had decided that I was going to invest into myself because I wasn't spending the extra funds on more fabric for more costumes. I wasn't spending the extra funds going to conventions. And quite honestly, I'm not much of a collector. I'm an art supporter. And so I did many art commissions during the summer of the pandemic, but I don't really collect much. So I had these extra funds and I decided that I was going to invest into myself and some of the things that I knew I wanted to do or get, which was to upgrade some of my photography equipment, some things that I never had time for, which was more editing classes and learning new techniques, taking some lighting classes. As much as I think I'm fantastic with it, no, there's still plenty I can learn.
Yeah.
And so I decided that I was going to take the time and money investment and put it into myself and my own learning and growth. And that honestly really, really helped me get out of a really bad funk, because I mean, we all kind of went through some stuff last year. So that gave me something new to focus on and inspire in. And something that I've always wanted to do with my photography is to help people realize how amazing they are, and how just to bring what I can see in others out. And not everyone can see that in themselves. And I'm like, everyone is just so beautiful. At least to me, I think everyone's beautiful in their own way, and I want them to see that. And whether, that's you want to bring a character to life, or just in your everyday, or you're like, hey, I just want to do this for fun. You don't necessarily have to have a reason, at least to me, to want to go and have pictures done. You don't have to be getting married. You don't have to graduated from whatever.
Just don't need
school.
an excuse to feel beautiful.
Exactly. I don't want anyone to feel like they have to have some excuse to feel
that.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's really pretty. That's wonderful to hear.
It is definitely it kind of one of my favorite things to do is go get a mani-pedi or go, because it makes me feel a little bit pretty. And I had never thought of doing a photo shoot to get that same feeling,
Yeah.
But after seeing pictures and you feel really good. When you catch that shot and you're just like, oh, I look really good in that. It's really it's such a nice feeling, and I am not a photographer, so I have nothing but mad respect and envy for what you guys do. It's really incredible. We did want to talk about, because you have done, just especially recently, you've done a lot of on location, doing what was the one you did, Mercedes?
I gotta ride a horse.
That's something that you've been promoting on your page quite a lot of I've got this bird handler person, or a llama, or was it an alpaca? I don't know.
They were alpaca.
Okay, yeah. So that's also really cool. Sorry.
Yes, I love on-location shoots. There's just something a little bit more magical about being in the environment and creating these like fantastical worlds and things like that. And so I started contacting different people for different things, like the first animal encounter shoot that I did. That's what I've been calling them, is animal encounter. Because it's a little bit more than you're taking pictures with them.
Mm-hmm.
It's you're having an experience with them.
It really is.
And the first one was I did owls. There's a falconry that they mainly do education programs and events, but because of the pandemic, they were not able to do any of those things. And so they were really struggling and needed to find fundraiser ways and everything like that. I reached out and I'm like, hey, what about some photo shoots? And so those shoots that I did, all the proceeds actually went to the falconry.
Oh, wow.
So cool.
So that to kind of help them through the hard time.
Yeah.
It was such an amazing experience. We got to meet Bubo,
And the 2 strings? Sorry, that was a bad joke. I'm so sorry.
The Eurasian eagle owl.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's so big and actually really sweet, and it was fantastic. Everybody got to be able to hold him and handle the owl, and we even had him like fly in on some pictures, and
Those photos were really, really cool. I was like, why did I not get in on this?
And I absolutely loved it. And then I had a lot of feedback, so we did it again.
Nice.
And then I was like, oh, I wonder if there's more animal experiences out there. And so contacting a few other people here and there. I've just been really involved with doing events locally. And so I've gotten a lot of contacts with different animal handlers or owners and things like that, and booking those shoots. So
a question for you, because you mentioned like you have built up all these contacts over time, and I'm sure like every photographer has their own like little black book of their favorite places and their favorite people.
Oh, yes.
And, what do you suggest for someone like who's maybe getting started and doesn't know where to look for venues?
Okay, for on location, first thing to do to start would be to get out your door and just go. And I know that sounds like something you're like, okay, and go where, right? Look up hiking trails in your area. Look up historical landmarks on Google. It's fantastic. I have found locations just from pulling up Google Maps, zooming in and browsing. And then when I see that little like castle tower symbol, that means that it is a landmark of some sort. So you can click on it and find out what that landmark is. And I've discovered some pretty cool locations by doing that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So what?
That gives me ideas. I'm like, now I need to plan.
So
my
what
next
about
shoot.
that? Not that wouldn't work for an indoor venue, but I feel like an indoor venue might be a little bit different.
Yes. As for indoor venues, you want to contact whoever owns that venue or the business that venue is, because some of those venues are actually a business. One of my favorite ones is technically the inside of a post office.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Wait.
Okay.
It's a historical building. It's absolutely gorgeous on the inside, but it's a U.S. Postal Service office. And what you can do is just ask the people there.
So with booking a venue in general, whether it's like out in the wilderness or it's somebody's owned building, what are some of the things you should keep in mind? What should you ask, if you can ask someone, before you start, I guess, planning on it?
So first thing you want to do is be upfront and honest with exactly your intentions on what you're going to be doing. So sometimes if you call a venue and request to do a photo shoot there, if you mention that it's not a wedding shoot, it might be a big, beautiful dress, but it's not a wedding dress and not for a wedding, they might lower whatever the photography fee is or waive it completely. Okay. So if
That's
you
a good tip.
yes. So be upfront and honest with exactly what you're doing, because a lot of places are going to appreciate that. Some of them have restrictions. Some are like, well, this is not going to bode well with our patrons, so we won't allow it. And you have to respect that. Okay.
Like if you're going to shoot in a national park, don't take weapons.
Sounds like, again, from experience.
At least I knew it before going in.
No, that's good.
I was going to mention with some venues, I know people have that like knee-jerk response of like, oh, cosplay is like Halloween kids running around screaming in costumes.
Okay, I'm going to counter
And-
that immediately, though.
Yeah?
Because, like, when I was getting ready for the Yellowstone shoot, the people up at Yellowstone were like, what is cosplay?
Oh,
and then when we
neat.
told them, they're like, oh, that's so cool.
Nice.
And we actually had to stop them from thinking that Comic-Con was coming to them because they're like, no, it's not that. It's just what the nerds do at Comic-Con.
Oh, dang.
And so it's like, you'll find more people actually will get excited over it and will think,
That's
they will
good.
not think, oh, dumb Halloween, and they'll think, oh, no, wait, it's those cool costumes that we see
Yeah.
at Comic-Con.
I was just
So-
asking mostly to see if you had similar experiences to either of
Yeah.
those. And if so, like, how did you handle it?
So I believe that the stigma has changed over the past 10 years.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm not going to say, I wouldn't say I've been escorted off of premises, but I've definitely been like, what are you guys doing? Can you leave?
Well, I mean, this might be a horror story for the end. We'll talk about when the cops got called on me for doing a
Oh.
photo shoot.
Heck yeah. That sounds like a great story.
Oh, it is great.
Good, good.
But we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Mhm.
Like I mentioned about being upfront and honest about what you are doing. Like Mercedes mentioned, if you further explain, a lot of times you'll get people really excited. I think that cosplay has become more of a common word in our terminology of nowadays versus 10 years ago.
Definitely, yeah.
And so 10 years ago, I used to try to explain it by, oh, we're taking pictures of costumes. These are costumers. And then they're like, oh, you mean like the Renaissance Festival? Yes. Like the Renaissance Festival.
You just got to get like that idea in their mind that they can cling to and be like, oh, it's like that.
Yeah, something that they can identify with.
Nice.
And reasoning why it is. So, like I mentioned, be upfront and honest. Some of the questions that the venue may have themselves is, how long? How long are you planning to do your shoot for? To be honest, I've discovered that for at least me, an hour is plenty of time for me to get in a full session. Though if you are inexperienced and you need to go off of a physical checklist of like different poses and shots that you need to get, you may want to plan for a little bit longer.
Or if you have like a particularly hard to move in costume.
Yes.
Gotcha.
They may inquire about how many people are going to be there. So if you're doing a one-on-one shoot, always expect that your person may bring somebody with them. So always count it as 2 people. I always encourage that somebody brings a friend or somebody with them.
Handlers are amazing.
Yes, because handlers are our friend.
Yes.
If nothing else, they get the best behind the scenes videos.
Yes.
I love it. And I can always use an extra pair of hands. For some of my shoots, I actually have an assistant with me now who is also a cosplayer and costumer.
Oh, that's cool.
So they understand when I say, hey, can you go fix that him? real quick. They're like, oh, I got you.
So on the topic of like handlers and being prepared, I kind of want to like tangent over into like, how do you prepare for an on-location shoot? Because it's generally like removed from, you know, say a dressing room or sometimes even climate control. You can't control the lighting. You can't control a lot of things. So how do you prepare for something like that?
Okay, so it depends. First, are you going to be at a facility? Are you going to have access to indoors? Are you shooting indoors? Is this outdoors, out in the wilderness? You got to figure all that out.
How close to sunset and mosquitoes are you? I'm still itching.
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
I did not even think to bring bug spray.
I had it with me in the wagon.
Oh, I should have asked.
And we had bug spray for the Frisian.
Oh, I have a horror story about that.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Oh, so,
Prepare.
to prepare. If you're going to have an indoor location, you want to know your lighting. If you're starting off from, is this from photography side of view of things?
Either one, like
Either
what
one.
should a cosplayer maybe bring in an emergency kit, or a photographer, what should you be prepared for, like maybe to go wrong? What should you have in your little kit to like help? Things like that.
Okay. I'm like, I can talk about both perspectives.
Yeah, that's true.
So, check your lighting. If you've never shot at that location before, you're going to want to research the different pictures that you can see that other people have done at that location. If it's something popular on Google Maps will have a whole bunch of pictures for you to look at, and you can flip through and you can be like, okay, it looks like this place is well shaded, and you know that it's well shaded. Or you can look at a place and be like, oh, this place is generally always in full sun. And so then you can keep that in mind too for your lighting. Or if you're looking at a venue location and you're like, wow, this place is very dimly lit, then you know, maybe I should make sure to bring some extra lighting equipment with me.
So a
That's
question
really clever.
on that as far as lighting goes, especially if you're doing outdoor shoots, is there a time of day that works better, that's going to have less intense light, or that just makes for better pictures when you're starting out?
There is. Some of my absolute favorite light nobody wants to shoot at.
Oh, really?
Because it's 6:30 a.m.
Oh, no!
No, thank you. No, thank you.
I told you, nobody likes it. I don't know why.
Can't imagine.
I did it. I'll do it again for you. I love it.
Yes.
I don't love waking up early, but I'll take coffee, and if it's for
Yeah.
cosplay, it's worth it.
But 6:30 a.m. is like one of my absolute favorites. Now, this is after daylight savings time.
Oh.
Because you got to keep that in mind. What season are we in is going to change our lighting. So in the winter, if I want to do an evening, so afternoon shoot, right? I'm going to start at 4 p.m. in the winter. If we are,
Because your sun's going to go down way early.
spring, summer, we're going to start at, what time did I have you arrive? Yes, not yesterday, but 2 days ago.
2 days ago, 7 p.m. for a 7:30 shoot. It was
Yep.
worth it, and I think we were there almost all the way to 9, right?
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
out there until 9 because we had the most gorgeous sunset.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, so we decided to stick around for the sunset.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I would advise you to just watch your sun. And sunrise is a gorgeous time to do photo shoots. In the late fall to winter, you can actually do that at 8 or 8:30 a.m.
Oh, that's
Not so bad.
Yeah. And
Yes.
you don't want to start like right when, like, okay, we're here and it's like right at sunrise. You want to show up like at least half an hour beforehand so you can get set up, get prepared. And then as that light starts coming in, mwah.
Yes, because for the morning time, you're going to get into poor lighting about 10:30 a.m. So if you started at 8:30, and let's say it takes you a half an hour to set up, you better shoot quick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this question's more, I guess, probably for like indoor shoots in public places, but having to shoot around other people. Because I know with some of the locations, like especially here in Utah, I know the Capitol building gets used a lot for cosplay, for weddings, for any kind of like fancy looking shoot. Because I'm guilty of this too, because it's a lovely building. But how do you like handle all the like normal people, I guess, walking around?
I've done photo shoots with literally thousands of children around. You think I'm exaggerating, and I'm not.
Wow.
And it's a matter of watching your angles. You can ask people politely, can you move for just a moment? I've done it to where I have stuck my subject right in front of the people that are behind them because there's no moving around it. And so I just do a quick merger and bam, those people in the background are now gone.
Hold your hand this way and just lean a little. There we go. Perfect. Got him hidden. All right.
So, yeah, it can be tricky and difficult. I hear other photographers complain about it a lot. I've never really have had it so bad where I feel like I couldn't work around it.
I feel like that's just kind of one of the hazards when you have a like public location.
Yeah, like last month, I did photos in the cherry blossoms at the Capitol, which is very popular. And I swear every local photographer was complaining about how many people were there. And I'm like, I got great shots. I got a lot of great shots with not very many people. Besides, sometimes I'm like, I'll just edit them out.
Nice. So as far as from the cosplay side of things, I suppose like it's a little bit different trying to track down a photographer who will do like on-site shoots. Do you find it's better to like trust the photographer to set up the venue, or as a cosplayer to find a venue where you want to shoot and ask someone to come to that?
So if you're working with a photographer that doesn't seem to specialize in specifically character or costuming or cosplay photography, I would suggest that the cosplayer research locations. Because the photographer is generally going to know the best places for portrait photography, family photos, wedding things. Not so much of
So my character, he's really in this like kind of dark dungeon place, right? You know a place like this.
I do.
I figured you would.
Now, it just depends. Are we going for more of a crypt, or
we can talk later.
Okay.
But I was just trying to be facetious and like give you an example. So.
No, that's a prime example, but I get that all the time, and I love it.
So I'm just kind of curious since you have both perspectives, is there a way that's better to approach a photographer about doing a unique shoot like that? Is there a good way to like get off on the right foot with your photographer so you guys are both like on the same page so that you both know like what you want the shoot to be?
Yes, you want to be able to communicate as much as possible with your photographer. One of the things that at least I ask for as a photographer, but I benefit greatly from, is asking my client, what is the story you want to tell? I'll also ask for inspiration photos.
So it would be fine to tell them you want a deep, dark dungeon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. I got you.
I got so many cosplays I got to finish before I could even think about doing photo shoots. So hold your horses there.
So, inspiration photos, especially when you bring those visuals to somebody who deals with visuals, then that really helps translate things.
Nice. Since you've had quite a bit of experience now under your belt. What would you say has been one of the most challenging shoots you've put together? Every single one. different challenges, I'm sure.
Oh, yes. We have many different challenges for many different things. Wow. Some challenges have been things like the weather. Dealing with the weather. Sometimes you can get to a point where you're like, this is not going to work. We can't shoot in this. And it's just a fact. If you plan an outdoor shoot that is specifically outdoors, and that is the setting that you are going for, and the weather turns really bad, sometimes you have to call it. And I have had to call it and be like, okay, let's try to reschedule. And I mean, this did happen to me recently, like as in like months ago. I had to reschedule alpaca photo shoot because we had a sudden blizzard. I mean, blizzard. And
Thanks
so
to weather.
for everybody's safety, we had to cancel and reschedule. So, I mean, it happens sometimes.
I was like, I had to do that actually on Sunday because after I shot with you on Saturday, I had another shoot I was going to do on Sunday on a hiking trail. But because it snowed that morning, and then in the time frame which we were going to shoot was like, guess what? It's going to be rain and lightning. And we're like, this is not happening. So we had to reschedule that. Like, it happens.
Yeah.
So in spite of all the hardships, what would you say is one of your favorite shoots, or do you have a memorable one?
Oh, man.
Probably a lot of fun ones.
A lot. I do have a lot of fun ones just because I've gotten to do a lot of fun things.
I've done so many recently, like.
Yeah, I've just been kind of I guess you can say following my passion and going for it and deciding, hey, I'm actually finally going to do that shoot at that one location, like the Star Wars photo shoot at the sand dunes.
Yeah, that one is
That one was so pretty. I actually saw that on Reddit. Like, I saw...
Wait, what?
Yeah, somebody... I remember seeing that. I was like, oh, yeah! And it was like 2 a.m. doom scrolling, so I was like, not really cognizant. But like, I've seen these photos. These are just different sides of those photos. That's real...
Well, my video of them on TikTok got 10,000 views in a day.
Wow. Congrats.
I was like, oh, okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I'm like, I haven't even done the good pictures yet.
Oh, man. Well, we've talked about like ones you've loved. What was like a really hard, maybe like angle or shot to get, but you're really proud of?
Sorry, radio silence.
That's what the editing's
Yeah,
for.
that's what the editing's for. I literally hit a button, truncate silence, boom, it's done, it's gone.
I actually really am proud of the shots with very unique lighting to them, out in natural light. Just because not everybody has the eye for that. To look at a spot and go, ooh, there's pretty light right there. Go stand in it. You know? And then angling your person just right. So that it hits them in certain ways, because lighting can dramatically change the feeling and the way that somebody looks. One shot that I actually really like is that I got lighting just right as in the owl photo shoot when the owl came flying in right behind my person as they were drawing a bow, and you just have the owl flying in right behind them. It looks literally cinematic. Yeah.
Magic.
And I had like a lens flare just perfect. And I'm like, nice. How did this happen?
Just the magic moment.
I know. And that's one thing I love to do are sun flares. I mean, I can prevent them, but I like them too.
They can look cool.
Nice.
That's why the Star Trek movie, I don't care if anyone didn't like it, I loved it. I loved every little flare in there.
Oh my goodness.
So I want to kind of like, I appreciate
David.
like all the expertise you've shared today. But I wanted to ask, like, for beginners who are just getting started, like, what's a good way to get your foot in the door with photography? What's a good way to, like, I don't know, just kind of, like, have fun and explore it and see if it's a hobby you'd like?
So first off is that you just have to do it. Like with any art, you have to continue to practice and continue to do it. Even if you don't have the best equipment, you're going to need to have that experience. Get out there with your cell phone and your friends and pose them and take pictures with your phone. Like, I'm amazed at what my personal cell phone can do. I'm like, okay, well, let's see. I can shoot 4K video in one hand and let's have my professional camera in the other. I have done that just to get some behind the scenes footage while I'm shooting. It was great. It worked out. And only for a few seconds because, you know, my other equipment got too heavy and my wrist was like, nope. But
you got some fun ones from my shoots. I really appreciated it. I was like eating those up. So,
well, I figured it's not every day that you get to ride a Frisian bareback.
Yeah,
true.
So
it was freaking magical. Thank you again. I'm gonna like gush over that all the time. I'm sorry. I'll stop.
I know experience is a great teacher. Is there any like online sources you would suggest for like going to learn more about photography?
You can take photography classes. I took photography classes many, many, many years ago, and that's going to teach you your basic composure of your shots. And honestly, that can account for a lot in having a good shot. You're going to need to know how to frame it. You're going to want to know your 2/3 of your images. You always want to stick your subject, not necessarily always in the middle. I mean, that works for your portrait shots, your bust up. Otherwise, your attention is actually drawn asymmetrically. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Fibonacci theory.
Yeah, the golden ratio.
Yeah. In nature, you always have that your eye is drawn to. Well, the same is going to happen with photography. So you always want to stick your subject on one of those 1/3 lines.
It's good to know.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we like to finish out our episodes with some cosplay horror stories. I was wondering if you have any you'd like to share.
Okay, I guess we can go back to that one horror story that I mentioned earlier in the episode. So if you've been sitting on the edge of your seat waiting for it.
Yes, hello, hi, I am right here.
Here it is. Back when I was first starting to do photography, I shot with 35mm film on an SLR, and a lot of times I would shoot in black and white, be all artsy and all of that. I thought it would be fun to get my friends together and dress them up in my costumes and go take pictures at a cemetery. And so we did. We put them in like, you know, black gowns and long gloves and
very goth kind of vibes I'm getting here. All right.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I'm a millennial.
We've all had a goth phase.
Hey, don't look at me like that.
Hey, I still have the goth phase on the inside.
Yes, of course.
And we decided we were going to go to the cemetery and take pictures of literally just strolling down the lane and doing pictures. So we did. And there were a lot of other people there basically treating it like a park. So skateboarding through,
oh my gosh,
joggers jogging through.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it was interesting. You know, that's when I first started learning, okay, people are this direction, I'm going to shoot this direction, you know, that sort of thing. Then a cop car comes by and we're like, okay, whatever, and continue doing our thing. And he turns on his lights at us and we're like, wait, what?
Oh no.
Approaches us. And I told my friends, stay here. I'll go ask. How can I help you? Yeah, is there something wrong? Well, we had some reports of suspicious activity.
Oh no.
Oh, I haven't seen any.
It's so pure.
Some reports of possibly some cult culture. Oh. I mean, we saw some skateboarders. I was a poor little innocent soul, okay? It got to the point where he was asking what I was doing. I said, I'm doing a photo shoot, taking pictures. And he tried to get us on technicalities of, well, technically each plot is private property.
Wow.
And we're not allowed to be there as I look around. I'm like, okay, well, we can leave and be respectful of that. And it was just very interesting.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And
You and your cult activity.
I know.
And your skateboarders.
I know, our cult activity. But yeah, that was the one time I had the cops called on me during a photo shoot.
Oh, dang.
Wow.
So there you go.
Oh,
There's
dang.
that story.
Oh, man.
I know, not too bad. You know, we
Yeah.
didn't really get in trouble. Just, you know.
That's good. One more time, where can people find you online?
Oh, sure. You can find me as Silver Fyre Studio. Fire spelt with a Y, Fyre. You can find me as that username almost on every social media platform. Though if you go to Instagram, Silver Fyre Studio is my cosplay account. And if you want to see specifically my photography, it's going to be silverfirestudio.photo.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Because I decided to separate the two because there was a lot of confusion on, did I make that costume or did I take that picture?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you so much for being on our show.
Can I share
Oh, you
a
have
horror
one you want
story?
to...
Okay.
If I can share my mosquito story too.
Okay. Okay.
Do
We got this.
Do
All
it.
right.
Do it.
All right. So, Sudi is amazing. And she's all like, guys, I'm going to be doing a shoot with a, how do you say it?
Oh,
Frisian stallion. I cannot say that
yeah,
word.
he's actually an award-winning horse.
Yeah. Award-winning
Pretty
Frisian
boy.
stallion.
Oh, yeah.
Matisse. He's beautiful. I don't know if I'm allowed to say his name. or-
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool, because he's beautiful. Anyways, so I'm like, I am all over this, like, immediately was like, sign me up. Anyway, so day of the shoot comes, and first problem that comes up is I you know, it's been pandemic times. I have not worn my Shadow of the Colossus costume in ages.
Uh-oh.
And so I was like, cool. I'm gonna put it on. It's gonna be fine. I gained weight.
We all have.
We all.
Yeah. Quarantine 15.
Something like that. I am like putting on my shorts and I'm like, my butt is bursting through this.
Oh, no.
So I was like, you know, it'll be fine. I'm taking pictures of the horse. Like, you know, I'll be standing next to it. It's going to be okay.
You had like a little poncho on.
yeah, I've got my tabard. No one's going to see any of my butt. So I'm like, it's going to be fine. So I'm like, cool. I can do this. So I get to the shoot and, you know, waiting my turn, like, you know, like you do, because I got there way too early. And I'm seeing all these gorgeous, like, people, like, walking out to do photo shoots and stuff. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be so cool. It's gonna be so cool. And I'm like, I gotta go see the horse. So I get out of the car and I, like, get all my costume stuff on. And, Sadie was actually on the phone helping me, like, not panic. Because mentally I'm like, I'm gonna look terrible because I don't know how, I hate it when I don't know how I look before a shoot. And because I only had the reflection of the car, I was like, So I get down there and I see Matisse out there and I'm just like, oh, so beautiful. And there's just like this gorgeous like dress being photoed with him. And I'm just like, oh, this is just amazing. And I'm just standing there and just enjoying the whole view. And then they help her get on him. And Sudi turns to me and goes, you get to ride him too. And I was just like, last thing I'm going to do because these pants, they going to rip. And they did, and it was worth it. So
In
And
the
I split
behind
my
the scenes
pants.
video, you can literally hear it rip.
Split just go. Me going.
Oh,
There it is. I can move now.
Worth it.
Worth it.
Oh man.
Oh man,
See,
it was
mine's
pretty cool.
less exciting.
experience.
It was just I did a photo shoot back in the day. It was Final Fantasy X. And I was doing Titus, and El Royale was doing Yuna, and we wanted to get them out at the marina in southern Utah, and just because water, and there's this really pretty like outlet where Yuna could like walk out on the water, where it looks like she's almost like walking on the water, like that one scene.
So pretty.
And yeah, it was really pretty. We got there like just as the sun was starting to come down to get these photos, and forgot that like this is also like it's a marina, you're on the waterfront and it's nighttime and there are mosquitoes everywhere.
Of course, yeah.
I have never been bitten by so many mosquitoes. I had counted them. There were like close to 70 over my body at the end of that shoot.
Wow.
Yeah, I was just in agony for about 3 or 4 days. Just everywhere was covered in calamine lotion. It was.
I didn't do too bad. I've only got 20 on me for. It's because I kept getting out of the car to be like, Sudi, I need to give you another hug.
Oh, I have a bunch too. I totally
man.
forgot about.
Oh, well, if you guys at home would like to send us some of your cosplay horror stories, you can send those to us at cosplaystitchandseam@gmail.com
Or you can fill out the Google form on the website at cosplaystitchandseam.com or
Go to our Facebook page and send us a message there. And while you're there, join our awesome community and our Work in Progress Wednesdays. Or you can even join our Discord, where you can share your. We have a whole channel dedicated just to them. And we did get an update from Sumikins. She is okay. She just has a lot of experience.
Good.
It was like a 2 a.m. kind of thing. Again, I'm just like checking my phone, and then Sumikin's like, in response to the previous episode, yes, I am okay. Oh, God. Oh, man. So yeah, it's really great to see all the people, and like I was even able to like, hey, I hung out with my nephews, and my 9-year-old nephew wants more anime recommendations. Also, like, what's kid friendly? So a lot of people just came out of the woodwork. Even my wife was like, oh yeah, this one. I live with this person. My person could then tell me to my face, but decided to tell me in the Discord. So go to the Discord and see the awesome people sharing their progress there. You can see my bad attempts at makeup, and I'm getting better already.
Bad, you say. They look killer.
If you look
amazing.
at my Harley cos test makeup versus what I did this past few days, significant difference. I have a lot to learn
You're
still.
leveling up so fast, though.
Yes, I'm very proud of myself. But while you're on the internet you're trying to look at these photos of myself in the Work in Progress channel, you can also help out the show in many different ways. Word of mouth is really great. That's going to help out the show. We also really love and appreciate any reviews that you are willing to leave on Apple Podcasts, on Podchaser, on Audible, or wherever they let you. We'll give you a shout out on the show. And of course, if you want to kick us a few bucks, we have a coffee account, KOFI, Cosplay Stitch, or patreon.com/cosplaystitch. For $3 a month, we'll give you a shout out on the show. For $5 a month, you get to join our live stream, much like the fantastic people, Queer Eye, Sci-Fi, Hal, Kaz, Hot, Riku, Rena, Mira, Jazzy, Kofed, Jaguar Quinn, Gloria Shu, Sudi, Stacy Pitt, Shock H, and Silver Deeds.
Woo! Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Tell us about the fanfic.
Oh yes, fanfic stuff. I was like, what's
You
why
had
are
a
you
face,
staring at me?
like you got so excited. I'm not used to facial reactions anymore.
I know. I was like, what am I supposed to do now? What?
That's my
what did I do?
fanfic face.
Fanfic face. So Pennon's got a fanfic face, and you got to send her fanfic so she can make more of the fanfic face.
Yes.
Email them to us at cosplaystitchandseam@gmail.com. You can also submit them through the Google form if you want to on cosplaystitchandseam.com. Or wherever you can reach us. Send them to us, 5,000 words or less, PG-13, please. Or if you don't want us to read it on the thing, but want us to still read it, we'll still read it.
We'll just be there like, yes, cosplayer 2237. Yeah, that was an experience. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Experience.
You could read that under the explicit tag on AO3.
That's the new Patreon goal.
I mean...
losing my train of thought. Oh, due by the end of June so that we can read them in our birthday month.
Yay! 10% off on any of Fox Beauty Cosmetics products. You go to foxbeautycosmetics.com, use the promo code STITCHANDSEAM to get that awesome discount. Thanks as always to Macy Roberts for the use of our theme song. And David Jeffress for his amazing editing.
More moi.
How are your podcasts going, David?
They are going so stinking good. Dungeons and Chill. Again, go check out the pancakening. I can spill a little bit of it. They walked into some of the Strahd cities, and then they decided to gather a whole flock of people and make pancakes for all of them.
Excellent.
It went great until it didn't.
Oh, no.
And
See, how can you refuse something called the pancakening?
Exactly.
This is amazing.
Canon can never.
I cannot say no to pancake.
You know, I was really tempted to make a pancake face reference, but that would only be for me, and no one else would get it. And that's kind of an exclusive club. Also, if you enjoy Dungeons and Dragons and you enjoy our live stream stuff, and the stuff that we post later for just the audio, go check that out. If you like comic books and talking about it more in what's the moral implications of how that's going to work, go ahead and go to Comic Trades Monthly. That's where me and my friend Dane, we talk about comic books in a book club format. And if you like a slow burn in kind of a, mental thriller, I think it would be a good way of putting it in a genre. Go check out The Last Voice. It is a story that I have written, I have produced, I have performed, I have edited. Everything that I have done is specifically my works. Even the sound effects I created myself.
Especially the like.
Yeah. So I ate in one of the episodes.
I'm so curious. Like, what was that?
It was an eraser.
Oh.
Because I needed something that actually would sustain in my mouth, right? So I got a big chunky eraser.
Oh my god!
And it was brand new, never used before, right? It's been sitting in my closet, and I just threw that thing in the side of my mouth, so it kind of had I did so many takes on that one because I kept making myself sick. So I would hear it back, and I would oh, that's. Ooh, okay, that's not, I don't like that sound. I had to push through, and then Pan and you messaged me at one point about that episode.
I did.
Felt validating, to say the
I
least.
had to listen to it, but halfway headphones on, I need the information, but I have to hear it through the chewing.
Yeah, I promise that's not going to be a common thing. No, I tried.
Set the mood. It set the mood very well.
I tried putting dice in my mouth, but then it just kept clicking against my teeth. I tried cotton swabs, and that just was disgusting because then I had it felt like it just hairballs in my mouth.
Furry afterwards.
Yeah. So go check out The Last Voice. If you wanna, now you have something behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You can check that out.
Delicious. So the funny thing about photography.
Okay.
It's always hard setting up a pun because I'm I know they're expecting it.
I'll wait.
But I've always tried to guess it and I never do.
There you go. So the funny thing about photography is that, if you lose your focus, it just might not click.
Oh.
Hey. Bye guys. We'll see you next
Bye.
time. Bye. Dang.
Which one is this one?
We can edit that out.
Or you really want to know?
Yeah. I'm wondering if I've been in it.
It's the one in.
Yep. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay, that one's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous.
If I ever make again, this
Sorry,
is all
David.
edited out. Sorry,
I'll
David.
just blooper all this out. It's the one.
If I ever get my Queen Seth from Trinity Blood done, that's where I want to shoot it.
Ooh.
So I'll let you know when it's ready.
Oh, I love it.
In 20 years.
I love it.
Okay.
So,
Okay, Mercedes, I want to show you something. It's
Also,
not
I
refinedly
can
edited,
pay
but
through PayPal.
Oh my goodness.
oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's amazing.
Hello, blooper reel. I haven't hit stop yet.
okay, don't cry.
I'm literally gonna cry. Oh.
That's really,
That's
really pretty.
really cool. I've never seen you make such somber face on a photo. It's really cool.
I don't know how I did that. I was just really in love with this horse.
And it's even funnier knowing your pants are red. This gorgeous shot, and I'm just thinking Mercedes' pants are red.
They really are.
Oh, that's stunning.
It is.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
So it would still need editing, but yeah, there you go.
That's
The
amazing.
preview.
The preview
I've got
of your album.
That is awesome.